Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We hope you'll enjoy the content on our channel and you'll consider hitting that red subscribe button. We've got a brand new week of some easy and delicious meal ideas for you guys. We hope some of the meals that we show in these weekly videos give you some inspiration for things to cook at your house. Hope you enjoy all the food in this week's What's for Dinner video. I feel like experimenting today, so I'm going to try a new recipe in my Instant Pot. I've got 1 cup of water in the bottom. I have actually swapped out my ring. The clear one came with it, and I purchased this 2-pack, and I keep a list of what I use them for. I use the red ring for more sweet rather than savory things. I don't want the seasonings from anything savory to get into anything sweet. This is actually going to be an egg bake. The recipe was pretty loose. It said you need to use some kind of a cake pan or a stainless steel bowl or a little mini bundt, which is what I've got. I actually bought this to use in my Instant Pot and I have yet to use it, so this will be my first time. I sprayed it lightly with olive oil and then sprinkled salt. I will leave a link to this recipe if it turns out. She also said you could use even a stainless steel bowl. The main thing is she said do not use a springform pan, which I bought for cheesecakes and things like taco pie and cheeseburger tortilla pie. She said the springform doesn't fit tight enough and it will leak. So we're just going to mix up the ingredients. I've got them all laid out, some eggs and meats and cheese and seasonings, and get it going in the Instant Pot. I'm going to use what I have today. I've got 6 eggs set to beat with a 1/4 cup of milk and some Nature's seasoning or Mrs. Dash or whatever kind of seasoning you like. Add a little of this. I may add a little Trader Joe's onion salt. Beat these together. Because I have it, 1/4 cup each of diced meats, and I do have what she recommended, which was ham, turkey sausage, and bacon. Bacon bits out of a big bag from Sam's. Maybe the meat will help Tim. He's not real fond of egg casseroles or bakes. She said to use 2 slices of like American or cheddar cheese. Rather than opening slices, I had the ends of 2 bags, some Monterey Jack and some cheddar, so I'm going to add those. And then she said to add whatever vegetables you like, onions, peppers, tomatoes, maybe spinach. I have mushrooms today and we like those. I'm not a fan of bell peppers or tomatoes. If you've been here before, you know that. Mix this all together and pour it in the pan and get it started in the Instant Pot. Should be plenty of room. I probably could have added something else. I don't think things are going to rise in the Instant Pot. It's not an oven. It's a wet, steamed environment. I'm going to cover it loosely with foil. Then we will cook it for 15 minutes on high. Pressure cook or manual. Mine's actually on 15 minutes. You can go up or down to get to it. Remember, with an Instant Pot, there's no set. You just let it go and it starts. We'll start a timer. We'll see how long it takes to come to pressure. After it comes to pressure, it cooks 15 minutes on high. We will let it NPR, which is natural pressure release, which basically means leave it alone. I'm going to make some really easy waffles to go with the egg bake. They're 3 ingredient: Bisquick, oil, and ginger ale. Mine took 9.5, 10 minutes to come to pressure, so you have to remember to add that in as well as the time it takes to NPR. If I can remember, I will chart that one as well, and we'll get a total time. The waffles are really easy. We put in 2 cups of Bisquick. We're going to put in 2 or maybe 3 tablespoons of oil, and then 1.5 cups of ginger ale. Mix it really well. This does need to sit for about 5 to 10 minutes to let the batter come together before you start putting it in the hot waffle iron. But it's really easy and one of our favorites. After about 5 or 6 minutes, it should be thick and bubbly. We're ready to start the waffle iron and put them on. Mine uses about a 1/4 cup per waffle section, but use your waffle iron's instructions. If you do have a Cuisinart griddler like I do, I use setting griddle, temperature 400, and I've turned it to on to preheat it. When it goes green, we will spray even though they're non-stick, we'll spray the waffle plates and add the batter. That is too hard to do. It's been 19 minutes. It's still natural pressure releasing. Alexa, dismiss. So we're gonna help it along a little bit. It's almost gone. Somebody's ready to eat. Oh, you can't see it. Look at that. It's all covered up. You can't see it. Does he have good balancing skills? Got a little water on the top. Got a little water on the top, don't it? Be careful. Got a little water on the top, which is why we covered it, to keep the condensation from making it wet. And the big revealing, et voila. Et voila. Little egg bait we're going to turn out and cut and have with the waffles. Breakfast is what's for dinner tonight. Did I spray it well enough?
It's a bunt.
Bunt.
Not a bunt.
Who watched my big fat Greek wedding? Bunt. Awesome. Still hot and steamy. We'll see if it's rubbery or if it's got a good texture. This tasted really good, but next time I would put that little bundt pan. It fits in the basket of my air fryer. I think it would cook in a fraction of the time. Or Tim even said, you could just do all this in the skillet. I don't want to wait that long next time. That's the thing about the Instant Pot. It's definitely not instant. To go with today's food, I'm going to make some homemade bread in my bread machine. This recipe I have always used the dough cycle and baked it in the oven, but I'm not using my oven today. I'm going to go out on a limb, try to bake it all in the bread machine, see if it works. My bread machine, you layer the liquids on the bottom. This is 1 1/4 cup of milk, 1 egg, 1 1/2 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of honey, 1 cup of rolled oats, 3 cups of bread flour, not all-purpose, and then 1 1/2 teaspoons each of salt and yeast. The yeast always goes on the top. I'm sorry about the camera angles. It was not really getting what I was doing, but I just poured the milk in the bottom. Then I took that same Pyrex and whipped up the egg and put it, and then I took the butter and just cubed it into really small little pieces. Then added the honey, the oats, and then the flour. This is 3 cups total of bread flour, and I've not ever tried this with all-purpose. I do try to mix things around, and then at the very end I make a little well in the dry ingredients to put my yeast in so that it doesn't come into contact with the wet ingredients. Every bread machine is different, just like every oven, and I have not tried this other than on the dough setting, but I'm going to select a basic, medium crust, 1.5 loaf. I looked in the book that came with my bread machine. It looked like 3 cups of flour was usually 1 1/2 pound loaf in a bread machine, and 4 cups of flour was usually a 2-pound loaf. So we're going to give this a shot. And we'll know in about 3 hours and 13 minutes. This is not good. I heard my bread machine beeping when it shouldn't be. It was right in the middle of the cycle, and it is now cut off, and the buttons aren't working. So I think I've just lost my bread machine. It's a goner. Not sure if we can take this out. I don't know where it was in the process, and try to get it to finish rising and bake in the oven. We may not have fresh bread today. Ay, 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 ay. Boo. This is one of those situations where you get lemons, you try to make lemonade. I put my pastry mat out and plopped the dough ball out. I had hoped it looked as if everything had mixed and it was starting to rise, so I hoped it just needed another rise. I should have put flour down on my mat. It did end up sticking a little bit. Check at the end for a clip for that. I was a little discombobulated and tried to get it in a loaf pan to finish rising in the oven. I heated the oven just to get it to about 150, 170. We'll cut it off and add the bread, and we're going to hope that this will get the first or second rise, since I don't know where it was in the bread machine cycle process. And then we'll see, check it in about 30 minutes, see if it's risen, and then we'll bake it. I'll have to go check the time and temperature.
I'm hoping.
Time to focus on the rest of the meal, just in case the bread doesn't come out. I chopped up some onion, I grated some carrot, and I had 2 or 3 russet potatoes in my pantry that needed using. I got out my really big soup pot. I didn't realize, again, the camera angle, you couldn't really see what I was doing. I added some olive oil and then started sauteing the onions and the carrots. Found another tripod. Maybe this will be a better angle. I did need a little bit more olive oil. They were starting to stick. The last 30 or 60 seconds, I added some minced garlic and then the potatoes, and then I started layering in flavor with salt, black pepper, white pepper, thyme, parsley, onion powder, and garlic powder. I actually still had my Instant Pot out and was going to do an Instant Pot potato soup recipe. I'll leave a link to the one I was going to use. We made it a few months ago, but after the debacle with my bread machine, I figured I'd better not risk another appliance. So I did all this on the stovetop. I added the chicken broth, cooked the potato mixture until they were mostly fork tender, checked on the bread and it was starting to get brown, so I did tint it with a piece of foil so that it wouldn't be over browned. I did mix up a cornstarch slurry, and once the potatoes were fork tender, I added that to my soup pot to start thickening it up. I added some milk. If I'd had half and half, I would have used that, but I just used what I had, and then I added some shredded Colby Jack cheese, and my secret ingredient at the end is always a dash of chipotle powder. Had some corn left in the refrigerator, so I'm going to add a little bit of that too, in lieu of meat. So potato with a little corn chowder. We actually took it out a few minutes ago and stuck a chopstick in the top to make sure it came out clean. I don't have a bread tester. That puppy rose.
I'll be your bread tester.
You will be my bread tester, won't you? Hopefully it's going to be good. We're going to let it cool a couple minutes before we cut it. Somebody can't wait. It's still too hot. Somebody can't wait.
Should I put it this way?
Yes. But we can't cut it. If you cut it right now, it will tear it to pieces. But we're going to let it cool a couple minutes, and then we will cut it.
Could probably bite a chunk of it off.
No, you do not break that bread. Bad boy. As I said, the bread machine threw me, and then I switched at the last minute and took an Instant Pot recipe and tried to go back to the stovetop. I probably shouldn't have added quite as much of the chicken broth. It was a little brothy, but we're fine with that. We like a brothy soup, so this worked for us. Someone is ready to eat. The soup is ready, but the bread still needs to cool. If I cut it now, it's going to tear it to pieces, but someone is not wanting to wait. So he's going to garnish his potato soup with cheese and bacon. I didn't have any green onions. My chives are looking pretty pitiful this winter. So we'll cut the bread, see how it worked. Taking it out of my now broken bread machine and to finish it in the oven. Potato soup is what's for dinner today. Nobody couldn't wait. Alexa, dismiss timer.
Your oven.
I think it came out. We'll
That
taste it and see. We've got some of this honey butter we bought at Sam's. I've been waiting to make homemade bread because there's nothing as good as butter or honey butter on hot out of the oven fresh baked bread. That's one of life's most simple pleasures. Are you excited? You don't want the middle?
Simply excited.
Easy. You don't want the, I'll eat the heel if you want the middle piece.
The hip's kind of a little crusty. I like
You
that.
like the crusty part?
Mhm.
All right. We've shown this before. It's so easy. I encourage you, if you've got mayonnaise, a couple of kinds of mustard. I use a grainy and a Dijon and some honey, and then some kind of a vinegar. I use a white wine or just a plain vinegar or even a red wine vinegar, and some olive oil and salt and pepper. You can mix up in about 90 seconds. A quick honey mustard vinaigrette. This works great on like a grilled chicken sandwich, a grilled chicken salad, any kind of a wrap with chicken. We love making a honey mustard in this house. As I've said before, I don't measure, I just count 1 measure of vinegar to 3 measures of oil and season to taste. We shared this on our Instagram recently. I purchased a container of Duke's mayonnaise. We've had a whole lot of YouTube subscribers and viewers tell us that that's their favorite. We've lived in the South our whole life, and I had never tried it, neither had Tim. Apparently we don't have a very discriminating palate. We like it, but we can't actually tell the difference between Duke's and Blue Plate. I sprayed the basket of my air fryer. I put 1 chicken breast with some salt, some pepper, and a fair amount of Trader Joe's 21 seasonings dilute. I'm going to try it in the air fryer. We'll check it about 5 or 6 minutes in. I'll flip it, spray it again, and then around the 8, 9, 10, 11 mark, I will start checking. I'll start checking with my instant read thermometer. We need to get to 165. It is salad night in our house. It's not very interesting for you guys on...
Woo! Salad!
It's not very interesting for you guys on YouTube. Everybody knows how to make a salad. I did, however, go to the extra trouble of setting it out all pretty for y'all. Tim loves broccoli.
What is that? Broccoli?
Broccoli.
Is it healthy?
It is healthy, and that's the reason we're having salad.
bacon?
I think the bacon's not healthy. I think we have been eating way too bad since before Thanksgiving, probably since about Halloween, and we have got to start eating a little better. This is probably not the best start we could have made, but we're going to start with a big salad.
Onion breath.
I've got red onion, boiled egg, radishes, carrots, bacon bits, mushrooms, broccoli, cheese, smoked almonds, grilled chicken, croutons, craisins, cucumbers for me, some homemade bread. Tim put molasses on his, and some homemade honey mustard vinaigrette. This is our feast. Tim went, woohoo!
Meal fit for a king, or maybe a queen.
That's what's for dinner today. Dinner is served. Thank you to my very sweet husband for getting up and cooking me eggs, sausage, and what's that stuff called?
Cinnamon toast.
Cinnamon toast made out of homemade bread. I'm very excited. Breakfast, it's what's for dinner. I don't know exactly where it was in the rising baking cycle. It's mostly in good shape, so I'm just going to take it. Sticky though it is.
Looks like you just wanted to play with the dough.
I do like, it's like Play-Doh. Playing in dough. Oh, I should have put some flour down. I was in a hurry. And plop it.
Is it tasty?
Oh, no, we're going to have to lick my
wanna
fingers.
taste it?
To lick my fingers. And see if we can get it to rise in the oven, and we will bake this one in the oven. Hey!
Yes, you will.
Thanks. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a wonderful and truly blessed day.